Your real estate practice is the engine. It drives the train. It's the income. It'll create great income if you run it well. But wealth is created through investing in real estate.
Many of you know Dirk Zeller from Real Estate Champions and his real estate coaching and all these things, but maybe some of you don't know that Dirk is a real estate investor and has quite the experience, quite the portfolio. So we're glad to have you here, Dirk.
Hey, I'm excited to be here, Curtis. Love to talk about investment real estate. If you're running a good practice and you're living below your means and you're putting that, asset and funding base aside on a consistent and ongoing basis, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be a huge amount.
Right.
It doesn't, it has to be consistent, and there are very rare occasions where you're going to be able to buy property for no money down. That's just an online guy's myth that's trying to sell you his training program of no money down. Right? Every once in a while, you can find those properties, but I wouldn't count on that as your primary strategy. I didn't count on it as my primary strategy. I save money. I put money in a retirement account. I put money aside, and I bought properties over time. And what happens is a compound effect, which we've all heard about, right? The compound effect, you end up buying more and more and more if you don't touch the principal, right? If you don't touch your money generators. My view is if you don't have cash, then you're going to be in a little riskier position because you're going to be more leveraged, and that may not be good. So maybe you need to up your production and save that differential, up your production by $30,000 or $40,000 a year in sales, and earmark saving that. So for me, first and foremost, down and dirty, because I'm looking at a lot of properties and evaluate, I'm doing the 1% rule. You may flex to 0.75 based on the market, but I'm utilizing the 1% rule, meaning 1% in rent against the gross sales price of the property. That's the kind of down and dirty, quick. Am I going to dig deeper into this property or not? Okay.
So step one is
1% rule or some facsimile of that. You're not going to get the 2% rule, everybody. You're going to be in the hood if you do that, or in a high crime area that you're not going to want to own it. All right.
Right. So if it's a $200,000 property, you're saying his rent's around $2,000. Around
$2,000.
Okay.
Could be now, and then properties have appreciated a great deal, so you may only be 0.75, but it's somewhere in that zone in reason, or 0.8 to 1%. Okay.
And if it passes that test,
right. The second thing I'm going to do is real quick look at rents. Are they undervalued? Are they overvalued? What are the rents? Third would be, what are the things I can do on this particular property if it's in that zone to improve it?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for things that I can improve that will dramatically. Everybody focuses on price. You want to focus less on price and more on the other levers that you can move to create more cash. Because if the price is attractive, in the sense, you're going to have multiple people battling you over the property in today's marketplace. And I'm not saying overpaying for anything. That's not what I'm saying. But look at the other factors that create a better investment. The greatest thing in real estate investment, in my opinion, is buying real estate in your retirement accounts, because you aren't paying the tax on that and may not pay the tax on it ever. I have, about half of the properties I own are either in my wife's 401k, my 401k, or this Roth IRA that I have. And none of those pay any kind of tax. I happen to be selling a single family residence right now that's half owned by my wife's retirement account and half owned by mine. I bought it for $63,000 4 years ago. I'm selling it for $170,000. There's $100,000 in gain. I won't pay any cap gains or any tax on that because it's going to go back into the retirement account. If you're a high income earner, the game changer is owning real estate in your retirement accounts. And let me do one other thing. There are lenders that will loan you money into your retirement account to buy real estate. So you can leverage your money in your retirement account to buy bigger assets that cash flow, and all the money comes back into your retirement account, taxed, untaxed, tax-free. And in the case of a Roth, tax-free forever. Forever.
Right.
You want to use your Fannie Mae mortgages right now because they're so stinking cheap. You can get an investor Fannie Mae mortgage for 3.25%, 30-year fixed rate. I mean, it's insane. You have 10. All right. If you're married, your spouse has 10. Think about that. Most of us operate as co-borrowers. It cuts in half the amount of Fannie Mae mortgages you can secure. Most people don't know that. I've always paid my wife an income because she works and does some work at Real Estate Champions. She draws enough an income, so guess what? She's financeable. She has 10, I have 10. That's why you can have 20.
Right. That's a lot of cheap mortgages.
And right, whose wife is a colonel in the Army and she's about ready to retire in 18 months. They're feverishly buying all these properties and putting them under her. So she's got the 10 Fannie Mae's, and then he's going to do some under his own real estate, obvious business, etc. But there's money out there if you've got the right strategy. And you understand tax strategy and process.